Charleston White talking about black women. We gonna see what he got to say.
The black woman is not trained and raised to serve. The black woman is raised up by her mother, watching her mother take through the abuse to serve. The black woman don't see her mama serve nobody.
So I have a question.
I'm gonna start here, man. I think this is generational to some extent, and that's why I think it's kind of bullshit. As far as he said two things. Number one, they ain't seen their mama serve nobody. The thing about that is, and I got to keep it real with you, I've seen a household where a mom that is a grandma, they've seen her serve the dad. And some of the daughters still turn out to be ain't shit moms that just ain't serving nobody. And the kids of her have never seen, her serve anybody. But the grandma, they've seen their grandma serve grandpa. So I think that's where that falls a little flat to where it's like, okay, like, this generation, like my generation, there may be some people who's, they haven't seen their mom serve anybody, but, the generation of moms that aren't serving people came from households where more than likely their mom was serving a dad, a lot of them. So there was a shift, and I may get to that in this video, I may not. But the other thing is, that these women weren't taught to serve. That I will agree with, especially if we're talking about like the current generations of women and stuff like that. The grandma generation that I mentioned. And if you've ever heard me say it, and I'll probably have a video on it, we have, if the grandmas ain't like 65 or older, like pretty much done. That's the last generation of real grandmas. If you got a grandma that is 65 or older, that is the last generation of real grandmas. After that, it's over, bruh. It is over. So if you got a grandma that's 80, a grandma that's 70, like that's the ballpark. 90, that's the ballpark where we got, those real women. And they raise a lot of these 50-year-old whores, these, 40-year-old, whores out here. In those generations that I mentioned, most of them did not raise these chicks to be whores. It is a societal influence, if I'm being honest. So I don't really agree with this so much. But when you get down to those 50, 40-year-olds or 20-year-olds and all that stuff, like, yeah, this definitely applies to them somewhat because of the culture shift. And that's the thing. It's a culture shift, and I don't think it's like, oh, they wasn't taught. They wasn't taught. It doesn't matter because the generation that didn't teach them, they were taught. They were taught, and they chose not to. It was a choice.
What if black women don't really have much
Oh,
to
but they
submit
do.
and
But
serve
hold on,
to?
hold on. But they
So how
submit
can
and
we
serve
do
to
all
their
that?
baby daddies.
No, they don't.
The niggas they let impregnate them. So they submit and serving to somebody. They submit to the white boy on the job that mistreat them, that she complain about. She submit to the pastor that she go give her money to. So she submit and subserve. She just pick and choose who she want to submit and subserve to. And when she pick wrong, she blame the man.
The only one that is really valid and it's universally valid, they submit to their white boss. That's what it is. They white male boss. They submit to him. This
They
batch of
submitted the
chicks
job.
don't submit in the church. They do the crystals and the horoscopes and the tarot card. They into all of that. That's what a lot of these chicks out here. They more spiritual than religious.
My mama told me you attract who you are. So if the black woman don't have nobody to submit and subserve to, that's because she's attracting all the wrong men. You attract who you are. That's why you keep picking the same kind of men you got to complain about.
Well,
Well,
I
that's
attract
what is.
convicted felons
You have
that
to
I'm a
ask
convicted
yourself,
felon.
what's inside of you that keep attracting convicted felons? Because check game, mama and grandmama say spirits are familiar with each other. You might not know the
Yeah.
man, but it's a spirit in him and it's a spirit in you that knows one another. It could be abuse.
Mm-hmm.
You may be used to being abused and he may be an abuser. So you attract an abuser because you're used to being abused. Some women who've been molested attract molesters. Most women who've been abused attract abusers. So let me just say this. You pick what you want, and people do to you what you allow them to do to you. Man or man
Okay.
or woman. People do to you what you allow them to do to you. So
I
if you
agree.
keep picking
That's true.
convicted felons, you might need to take a look in the mirror and say, man, why am I keep attracting criminals? What's inside of me that keep attracting criminals? You may have a
But all criminals
why do
not
you keep
bad though.
attracting criminals?
And see, that's the problem. Is she gonna ask that dumbass question, or she gonna say that dumbass statement? Well, I'm not a convicted felon, but I attract convicted felons. You don't think that they bad. You don't think that there's nothing negative about, like you said, not off it. This is the thing about a lot of black chicks. Like and look, I'm not saying the majority. I want you to understand that. I said a lot. There is an abundance of them. I don't think it's even the majority, but a lot of them don't see anything. They will live square lives. They will go and get degrees. They will go and get square jobs. They won't participate in no crime. They will be valedictorians. They will own 6 businesses, and they will be all-star boss bitches. They will be just super boss, entrepreneur, Vogue, woman of the year ass women. Ebony woman of the year ass women. They will do that. And they will be square, they will be clean, they will be doctors, lawyers, all that. And they will go and get a criminal, a career criminal, somebody who is not trying to turn their life around, somebody that is actively in the streets. And even worse in some cases, they will get somebody who is actually killing people, somebody that is actually committing homicides. And they will look at him like, he's not bad. What's bad about him? Nothing is bad. Nothing is wrong with, him. He nice to me. So like, what is like, everything is good. If you look at most guys, we gonna look at a stripper and be like, oh yeah, that's cool to fuck, but that is not it. We gonna look at a prostitute like, it's no way that I'm gonna be in a relationship with them. All prostitutes are bad for relationships. All strippers are bad for relationships. That is how most men are going to think and operate. And even then, just being honest, most strippers and prostitutes don't want to be in relationships with most men anyway. So you're not going to see that play out often, regardless, because the two parties really don't want to be with each other, as far as most men and most prostitutes or sex workers or whatever. Like, that's just what it is. But when it comes to these unscrupulous individuals, these criminals and things of that nature, you will have square black women who not even in the streets, they not even hood rats. They'll be educated in some cases. They will be very professional or entrepreneurial in some cases. They will still accept the street dude. And that's not even speaking on the attraction that they have for these guys, this hybristophilia that they have. It's not even speaking on that. It's just speaking on, they will know that the guy is doing wrong. He is doing heinous shit. And they won't see the wrong in it. They won't care about the wrong, because all they care about is how they feel and how they benefit.
Why can't you attract a non-criminal who's never done anything bad toward life?
Because we've not been trained. We've not been conditioned to understand you. We've been trained to fight against you.
Right.
We've been trained to go against you. We've watched our mamas, our grandmamas, our aunties speak ill of a black man. So now when a black man comes and he good, you waiting for the bad because grandmama told you black men wasn't shit. Mama told you black men wasn't shit. Your auntie said black men ain't shit. So all you have in your mind is black men ain't shit. And so when you get that beautiful black man, he's now got to say to you, erase everything they taught you.
Right.
Because I'm here.
Or then you treat him like that, and then he goes, and then you talk about.
Now you're mad because he didn't want you the white girl, Shannon. Now y'all start treating Shannon good, okay?
Now, see, this is funny because it goes hand in hand with what Charleston White was saying. Even though I slightly agree, slightly disagree, I already went over how I feel about that. I truly don't think it's on us to condition you to think that we are shit. that is a problem you gotta fix because, like she said at the end, I'm gonna keep it real with you. I'm gonna keep it real. The first thing I'm gonna say is what I was about to say is, if y'all can't get with the program, there are Latin women, there are Asian women, there are white women, there are Arabic women, there are Indian women, which I don't think Indian is really gonna fuck with us, but there are women of all different ethnicities that will fuck with a black man, especially in America. And we won't have to deal with the preconceived notion that we just ain't shit. We not gonna come in at a net negative by default just because of previous experiences you've seen and your grandma cheating on or your granddad cheating on Odessa and then your mom never had a husband. So your mom Shabria just been telling you they ain't shit because she couldn't lock down a man. Now you Taquasia, you just out here like just carrying on a legacy of having niggas kids and not being married to them and thinking that we ain't shit. But this is the thing. It's not our problem. It's not our problem to try and convince you that we are shit. But this is the other part that I was going to keep it real on. This is the thing. That shit doesn't, like, black women are not a monolith. So there are a lot of women that do think black men are the shit, that do think we are great men, great people, that don't fuck with the Pookies and Ray Rays and can understand the difference between, a fucking criminal, unlike the first person. Oh, felons is good, can understand the difference between a criminal slash street dude slash somebody who is clapping people versus somebody who goes to a 9 to 5 or somebody who went and got a degree, somebody who went and got a trade, somebody who is not a thief, somebody who is not a liar. Like they can discern that there are black women out there who could discern the differences between these types of guys because this is what it'll be like. A chick will get with it don't even got to be a criminal. It could be the super player. She'll go and get her a super player, somebody that all the chicks want. And he laying down that good wood and he just fucking the whole town. He fucking the whole state. Everybody want to fuck with him. She fuck with him. She lock in with him. And then she get fucking played because she's a fucking idiot because you should have never been trying to lock in with that guy in the first place. And then they fuck with so many guys like this that this begins to shape their view of black men as a whole. So, that's something that they got to sort out. Those women, they got to sort that out. It's not our job to sort it out because we ain't got to sort shit out when we go to Selena the Spicy Latina. We don't got to sort shit out.